And welcome everyone. We are back. Sorry we are started a little bit late tonight, but we are back here with another episode of Here on the Waste, episode number 33, I do believe. We want to thank everyone who's hanging out with us, especially you, Pie Boy. It looks like you are definitely going to be rolling for Marvin this evening. So some chat interactive gameage will ensue. We want to thank you guys for hanging out with us. This is called Here on the Wastes, where we play Horizons Unknown After Earth RPG, a game that has been written and created by myself. My name is Scott, aka Shogi. I want to thank you so much for hanging out with us this evening. Sorry, we did start a little late, but we are going to pretty much kind of jump right in here. But let's just see how everyone's doing this evening. Ryan, Rev, Rand, the master himself is here. How are you good this
He's
evening?
here, ready to hopefully rest so that he can do things again.
Oh, you've rested long enough. Of course, my brother from another mother, Shane. How are you this evening, good sir?
I am late, but I'm here. Sorry about that.
We appreciate you being here. And of course, my good friend Mike, the man, the myth, the legend. How are you, good sir?
That's right. I am good. I'm good. I am ready to die. I'm just waiting for it to happen. It's coming.
I like
Smell
how you guys are all at some point said like I am ready to die.
Yeah. Well, you just come prepared. You come to battle ready to die.
Fair
That's
enough.
just how you got to do it.
Fair enough. Don't worry. I do believe, at least with what was it, Los Rivos, that funeral expenses were all taken care of for you guys.
That's good.
That was in the
All right.
contract for you guys. And of course,
Yeah.
my name is Scott, aka Shogi. If you do want to get caught up on any of the past episodes, just go ahead and hit the link down below for the YouTube, and they get uploaded around every Saturday. So tomorrow you'll see last week's episode, and so on down the line. As you do notice, our background for this evening does have a Halloween theme. It is October, and these are going to be winding down to probably the last 4 or 5 sessions before we do have our winter break. So we're going to make sure that they are excellent, enjoyable sessions for all you people out there watching. And with that, let's just jump right in to what happened last session. Rev, Marvin, Voldo, and the good doctor did take on the Cursed Rider, one of the machinations created by the Stowe Garden himself. You were able to attack it, fight it. You did use interesting tactics in order to slow him down and do damage to him. And in the midst of the fight, he merely stopped moving. Voldo attempted to open up a dimensional portal, a banishment rift, where the rider essentially was pulled into the void, almost turned into ash and dust as he was sucked into the rift itself. But once it was fully encased within the banishment rift, you're an old friend of yours, the Grimoire of Power, reemerged from the rift. Rev decided to make some kind of carrying case for the grimoire itself, as well as the black sword that the rider was carrying. You decided at that point that rest is what you needed. You would merely take watch in hopes that you could find some kind of sleep to restore some of your energy, and as you continue on in your adventures and your investigation deeper into Warband itself. With that, gentlemen, each one of you has essentially gotten the equivalent of about 6 or so hours of rest. So go ahead and just make sure that your vitality and your exhaust are full.
Nice. That is
make sure, go ahead and write that down as well, Shane. That you're at full health and full exhaust. And with that, you still have the 2 open doors essentially, I'm sorry, the two doors, one that was open where the rider came out of, that
Mhm.
was a enchanted hallway, as many of these hallways seem to be, and of course another door on the other end as well. Most of the time that you were spent in there was relatively uneventful. Interesting enough, it actually takes you by surprise because you'd figure that, if anything, it'd be a good time for the Stone Garden to strike. But I would like Rev and Voldo to roll mystical if you could.
Okay.
13.
18.
Voldo and for Rev. It's an interesting feeling that you've had. Something like almost a splinter in the back of your mind that you have felt during your time inside of this mountain itself in Warband. The feeling that time is stretched here. It's not something that you can initially recognize. It's something that's not something that you initially feel automatically, but it's something that has been there in the back of your consciousness, especially for you, Voldo, being somebody who had experience with time itself. That in moments, time feels like it's slowed down. For Rev, sometimes it feels like time is being stretched out thinly across the moments that you've been here. And sometimes it feels like time has been sped up. It's a unsettling feeling, but again, it's not something that you can put a finger on. At this moment, this is happening. At that moment, I felt this. It's just something that feels that other things are at work. And with time being manipulated in such ways, for you, Rev, knowing that time is not on your side, this has been an unsettling feeling. So you don't really know how to explain it to anyone. Because how could you? You don't know exactly. You can't exactly quantify. For you as well, Boldo, you feel something is amiss. It feels for you even more. How long have I actually been here? How many days have actually passed? When I sleep 8 hours, why does it feel like I've slept 20? For the doctor, things have relatively been normal for you. Days seem to move at a normal speed. But especially for you, doctor, you've noticed that there's a definitely, especially now, that there's a heaviness to this. And the farther and farther that you've gone in, the heavier and heavier it's felt. So with every room, with every step, it feels in your scientific, your investigative, your analytical mind that the sooner that we get to the center, will the weight be too much to bear? As the last person to wake up is Marvin, who took I do believe he took the second shift. Doctor took the first.
Yeah.
Marvin
that's right.
gets woken up as you sit inside the large cathedral, this chamber of woe. I'm sorry, the chamber of affliction itself. That there's an uneasiness and an eeriness to the silence that is in this room. You can hear yourself breathe. It's not just you breathing. You can hear Voldo breathing. You can hear the doctor breathing. You can hear Marvin breathing, and you notice a slight wheezing in his breath. You notice a slight heaviness in the doctor's. You notice a slight rapidness to the heartbeat of Voldo. With this, gentlemen, what would you like to do?
Is anybody else feeling kind of weird about this situation? I don't know. I feel like I just took like a really long, couple-day long nap for some reason, but it time hasn't seemed to go by that much.
Seems weird to me that nobody attacked us while we were waiting here. That's what I'm.
It's
I'm
also that
surprised
too.
about.
Did nobody hear anything during the night?
No, I just feel like there's something so much more to this place than we'll ever know. It's almost like it's alive.
That's why we gotta blow it up and get out of here.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. We gotta.
It's
we gotta
trying
complete
to
our
it's trying
mission,
to
get
suffocate
out.
us almost.
I'm thinking, with how we're all feeling, we should probably try to pick up our pace. Do we want to go down that hallway that the horseman came from and see what's lurking down there?
I mean, it's the only way to go, right?
Well, there's another open door, but I'm afraid there's even more baddies. At least we cleared something out on this side.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, yeah. I'm okay with that. In worst case, we backtrack.
Marvin kind of looks at you and he just goes, "Listen, we make a good kiting team.
Yeah, that's the one.
We did a great job kiting, guys.
I'm a master kiter."
Yeah. It was like a workshop in kiting. If there's anyone that could ever know what true kiting looks like. But Bosh, you record everything, right?
Yeah, sure. It's on my
Excellent.
sidekick.
Perfect. I'll make sure to upload it to HiveTube.
HiveTube.
Go on.
On how to kite. All right.
We'll all be waiting.
We'll get all the views.
Well, I say we head down this hallway then.
No. Is there anything we take a look around, see if there's anything weird, unusual? I don't know.
Sure, if you want to just give it a quick investigation
Yeah.
look around. One last take a look.
12.
It's pretty much the exact same way you left it when you did the last investigation check.
Yeah, okay.
Interesting
I'm
enough.
hoping I got a 20 this time.
Yeah, interesting enough when the sleep allowed you to like really zoom in on things a bit better. And yeah, look, it looks exactly the way you left it.
So nothing's changed. Nothing's changed overnight. Okay.
Maybe some dust particles move, but
Okay. All right. Fair enough then. I think we're okay to move on.
Well, yeah, Rev's gonna strap that book to his belt. He's gonna put that sword on his back, and he's gonna just face that doorway, kind of contemplating what they're gonna run into next.
Okay. Remember that your speed has been halved.
I have half movement. Yeah, well, I got both of them.
If you can, Voldo, roll a quick mystical check again.
16.
Okay, and roll an investigation or science check if you could, Doctor.
Alrighty. Science, that would be 17.
For the good doctor, you notice when Rev straps on the containment, essentially, pieces, that your excellent made Titan frame leggings that you created from him, you notice that they seem strained. Now, you believe and you stand by that your cybernetics are top notch, that they can withstand anything. But you notice that he's walking slower. He's almost lumbering a little bit. And then you can almost physically see the strains of whatever weight he's been carrying. Boldo, you notice that the moment that he straps on those containment pieces, that dark energy, like almost magnified. It doesn't seem to be attached to Red, but it's increased in its potency. It doesn't. The feeling is it does not want to be carried by him. It wants to be away from him.
Right.
And it's making it tougher and tougher on him. Do so.
Gotcha.
I'm Frodo with the ring. The ring is
Yeah.
pulling me down.
Yeah.
At some point, sorry, anyways, people wanted. At some point, Volder's gonna go up, and just goes, "Let me carry the burden for you." Slide off.
I may not be able to carry it for you, Mr. Frodo, but I can carry you.
Yeah. Okay, well then I'm just gonna stop and just kind of watch him as he tries to drag her out for a little bit.
You notice as well that his steps seem to be more sliding than they are kind of like picking up.
I just want to see if he notices it.
Rev, you're aware that there's something amiss. You're not exactly sure what it is, but you feel like there's something. There's their energy working against you.
Yeah, like
It's
this place is oppressing me or oppressing
exactly.
me or
That there's some kind of forcible resistance that's trying to stop you. Though you don't, again, you don't know exactly what it is. You don't know if it's just the environment itself. But obviously, with these items, they're just magnifying that feeling for you. It doesn't stop you from thinking clearly. It's just the feeling of the, again, probably the best one. There's some kind of oppression that is.
Basically, I have the Dragon Ball thing where I like have weights strapped to me to, be weight training.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll make me stronger.
He's
under 14 times gravity.
Yeah, he's training in 5,000 times gravity.
Yeah, exactly.
With that, you guys want to just venture down the hall, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. As you do venture down that same hall, you notice that the enchantment of silence has now fallen away.
Good.
The hall itself seems to go down to obviously that T-junction, where you kind of take a look around and you notice that the other entrance to the other door essentially intersects with that T. Either way you cut it, you were going to run into this T-junction one way or another.
Okay.
But for both, they go, for the one on the right, it goes right and out, and this one goes left and out. Since you are in the left one, you continue on. Do you take that left and continue further down the hall? Or do you just continue to almost loop yourself around back into the other hallway?
Well, you know what, actually, before we do this, I'm just going to ask anybody else. Did anybody else notice this thing does not want to be carried by Rev? Like,
yeah, I can tell he's straining a little bit.
Yeah. Have you noticed that, Rev? I don't know. Are you,
how do you feel?
I don't know. Can you see if there's something like living inside of it? Do your little soul searching thing and
I have experience with these grimoires. I know that there's a dark energy. I think it's only amplified by this place, but I'm not leaving these dark artifacts to just be grabbed by the next member.
Definitely not saying we leave it behind. But I mean, I don't know. Try something else.
I know that it's a weight. Unless one of you want to carry these, I'm willing to take this burden.
Good try. See if it doesn't act up as much.
I was thinking the same thing.
All right, so we should take them for now.
Marvin questions that. Are you separate? He goes, let me just say this. If you do, boss, maybe you shouldn't carry both. You can do it, maybe separate them. Maybe they feed off each other.
Rev doesn't really trust the book to be
And
taken by
anyone else's
especially
hound.
anyone, especially Voldo. He thinks Voldo would be tempted by this thing.
Fair enough.
But he does think that this weapon, maybe it be something Voldo. Sorry, I keep messing up your name. Voltron.
Yeah, there we go. I'll take it. I'm okay with that.
Marvin and Voltron.
Yeah.
Voldo knows his way around weapons, so he might trust this contained sword. He hands that over to Voldo to see if he can.
Marvin goes, stop.
Take it.
Give it to the doctor.
I reach out and snatch it really quickly using thieving hands.
He looks at you and just goes, doctor, really?
Okay.
Really?
Okay.
Nothing here, doc?
He'll be all right with the sword.
Okay. Voldo.
So is this a usable sword?
It did, remember, it was extremely huge at some point. But when it was, when the writer had gone to the banishment rift, it had shrunk down to like a normalized size.
Okay, so
enough
so
to be able to fit into that containment box.
Yeah, but we put it into a container because Rev doesn't trust these dark artifacts.
Yeah.
So
up to this point, no one's actually physically touched it.
I was gonna say we could try this again and see if I go crazy enough from touching it. So I don't know. Just be ready with your triangle power thing.
How about you just keep it in the container for now?
I'd rather figure out what it is now instead of like needing it later.
All right. Well, Rev. All right. Well, then he's gonna start chanting if he knows that he's pulling this thing out.
All right,
Rev wants to actually use his mystical ability to put like a protective shell around. Around.
So
Voldo.
what Rev is doing, and Rev, for at this point, just because of roll quickly a mystical if you could.
Okay.
You're in good shape, so go ahead and roll it with blessing. So +5.
Oh, okay. +5, okay. With +5, I got a 10.
Oh. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Rev.
Yes.
From now on, Rev will now have the ability of a containment field. Of a spirit containment field that he can do twice a day.
Spirit containment field.
Well, everyone that is within that containment field is protected from any mystical or dark enchantment.
Ooh, all right.
2 times a day. Anyone inside is protected from a mystical or
any
dark
mystical
enchantment.
or any dark enchantment.
Okay.
You have been focusing your powers of mysticism and shamanism over the time that you've actually been here. You feel stronger and more in touch with it at this point. Enough to at least be able to continue to do the containment field without being a huge strain upon you. It will cost you 2 exhaust every time you do it.
2 exhaust, okay.
And it only lasts for 1 turn.
1 turn?
1 turn.
Okay.
Whatever you need to accomplish in that turn needs to be done in that turn.
Okay. Last 1 turn.
You create your containment shield upon your group. Is it safe to say that everyone is within that containment field? Doctor?
Yeah.
I almost want everyone else to be separated from us. Like, I just want me and Voldo inside this thing and have Marvin and the doc outside of it, so that basically I'm containing it within where we are. So if anything escapes, we have to fight this thing, basically.
Is that okay with the doctor? Have you told this to him?
No, I just put the field around us, and
you don't have the luxury because you guys are all next to each other.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So when you create it, unless you tell the good doctor, but the good doctor wants to do. This is a moment of science. Is it not,
He
good
wants to
doctor?
watch.
Yeah, it is, but at the same time, there's a lot of misses too that
A little bit that you don't really have any knowledge or much experience.
Yeah, I'm somewhat indifferent when it comes to being inside the thing. I if that's the explanation that Rev is giving, I'm just gonna go with it.
Yeah. So I ask Marvin and the doc, y'all might want to give us some space while we try
Hi,
to
boy.
contain this thing.
Hi, boy. If you were there, roll a d20 for Marvin.
D20 for Marvin. What does Marvin do?
You don't do it in the next 3 seconds. I'm gonna be rolling for Marvin.
He
You're a
rolled
bad
He rolls
boy.
an 8. He rolls an 8.
All right.
Marvin goes to step out of the containment and stops just short. He
On
wants
purpose.
He wants to watch.
He wants to watch. All right. Rev doesn't notice. Then, I assume.
Rev doesn't notice because Rev is doing his thing.
He's focused.
I'm rubbing off on him.
The curiosity killed the Marvin, man.
So I just kind of lean over and I'm like, oh, that's how it happens. Okay. All right.
So Voldo, as you immediately notice once Rev creates this field, that again, that heaviness and such, that oppressive feeling immediately leaves you. It's the feeling of being, if the best way to say it, is the feeling that you're just standing, looking out upon the ocean, just watching the tide go in and out and the birds flying. And there's a sense of just peace, especially within your very hectic spirit, your hectic, almost restless spirit. There's a peace there, and this peace is similar to what you're feeling inside of who you were before Voldo existed. Do you open up the box itself?
Yeah. Go for this.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
When you open up the box, you see almost an obsidian-like blade, shaped in the structure almost of like a scimitar, a little bit of a curved edge at the end. You immediately know when you take a look at it, this blade is not.
Not for what?
That is not from this planet at all.
Okay.
Nothing that you've ever seen has been created. Rev as well has gone around from master workers to master workers. You've seen what people have made. You've even dealt with a few of the expert master workers, and you've never seen them make any kind of blade like this. This is dark obsidian. It is a blade that is made from a meteorite.
Oh.
You can't seem to get a direct read on the blade itself, but when you pick it up into your hand from the gold handle and hilt that is attached to, you notice that it seems more like a dark black reddish blade, that there's some kind of color to it. And it seems to be extremely shiny. But upon further investigation, you notice that you can't see your own reflection in it. The pommel is wrapped in almost a crimson leather around that gold hilt, with a little bit of gray stitching within. It seems nice within your hand. It seems well balanced. You do notice on the very hilt of the sword itself that there seems to be a 5-point star, and it's engraved with ancient runes. The runes yourself you cannot read, but you do know someone who could. Unfortunately, immediately as you hold it, the sword starts to speak to you.
Mhm.
And inside your head, and only inside Boldo's head, do you hear, "Dark is my hunger, like the night, and the night is endless." As you hold it even more, you start to feel it speak deeper to you. But you don't hear voices. You just start to gain knowledge. Things that were not your own thoughts now seem to flood in. And you know that the blade itself does not reside in this dimension, but instead, it resides, when not in your hand, within a small black hole in time and space. And if you reach within that dimensional tear, you can pull this sword like a sword coming from its scabbard. Immediately, the sword dematerializes into your hand. And instead of just seeing the sword, you see stardust.
Star what?
Stardust.
Stardust. Okay.
But even though that the sword is dematerialized, Voldo, you know where it lies. You know how to retrieve it. It is attached to you now. You have given yourself freely. You don't even recall it asking. It merely just takes.
He said, I don't know how free this was, but
Yeah. So much for my containment field.
yeah, he's saying it like freely.
But you again, whenever you want to reveal it, whenever you want to use it, you know exactly where in time and space you can reach your hand into and reveal it to your enemies.
Rev sees this thing dematerialize, right?
Absolutely.
Rev goes, Voldo, what the hell happened to that sword?
I
It was in
do.
your hand, and it
And now it is gone. That is a good question. I do not know.
does Rev believe him that he doesn't know?
Rev, roll investigation or awareness, and then
Okay.
Voldo, roll deception.
Okay. I have awareness, so I'll roll that.
Oh shit!
I rolled a 7.
I rolled a 7. No joke. Wow.
You feel
Okay.
he tells you that he does not know where it is, and you feel that okay. I'm not exactly sure I believe you, but I don't think I have a reason not to at this point.
I'm like, all right, well, Voldo, if you feel something funny, you let me know, okay? Rev's
Okay.
like,
And then hold on, and then I'm just gonna be like, oh wait, you know what? Hold on, let me try something, and then I just want to pull it out.
Okay.
Make sure I can
Pull
do
it.
that. Make sure it's still there.
Doctor, as well as Marvin, you can see within this containment field. You can't hear what they're saying.
Marvin can because he stayed inside it.
I'm sorry,
remember?
that's right. Marvin's in there. Marvin just has a look of just someone who just went. But doctor, you saw that what just happened. Something just completely dematerialized in his hand, and you're thinking, how in the world did that happen? Like,
What technology is
what
that?
technology exactly? What technology is that? What possibly scientifically could I find that could explain what just transpired in front of me? But then in your intellectual brain, you know that this sword came from this place, and this place has changed the way you think about things. When Voldo, when you think upon pulling the sword back out, you merely just jut your hand out into infinite space. What Rev and the Doctor and Marvin see is a moment that he just tosses his hand out. It instantly gets wrapped in just nothing. And by his wrist, you can see almost like stardust come in a mist form outside this dark hole that he has just placed his hand within. A hole that seems to be dimensional in form.
Can I make it pop out of let's say somebody's like got a knife to my neck, I make it pop out behind my neck and right into their face. Can I do that kind of thing?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay.
The sword itself is housed there.
Okay.
And as you pull the sword out, you notice that the sword, as it is pulled, and it comes out just like a hot knife through butter. There's nothing that holds it back, nothing restrains it. There's no oppression for you at all, Voldo. You just merely pull your hand in and you feel the hilt, and you just pull it out. And as you do, it is draped in pure stardust and in starlight, completely wrapped in it until it floats away like a nice, easy mist or breeze or fog and reveals the dark blade that carries no reflection. While you...
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Do we know anything about stardust being some sort of mystical, or like you had mentioned something light, starlight?
Starfire?
Starfire.
Yeah, what do we know about stardust?
Stardust is barely something that is wrapped within the galaxies itself. It's something that can be found in any galaxy known to man in regards to stardust. It's just the descriptive of something that does not fall within this dimension. It falls in the deepest recesses of the galaxy.
Okay.
While you hold this sword, Voldo, you are bloodthirsty. The sword hungers for power. While you hold this, if you carry steeled or intellect, you lose those keywords for the duration of the time that you hold this weapon. You immediately, Rev, and you feel this, as he holds it, his eyes glow like suns. And he immediately is now covered in shadow.
Does Rev get a similar feeling when he sees Voldo holding the sword as when he saw the grimoire being held by
Skag?
Skag. Does this
Similar.
seem similar okay.
It's
I'm
similar
not
in nature.
fully possessed, right?
But the difference is that Voldo seems a bit more in control.
Okay. So I can tell he's
Skag.
not going to immediately start attacking us or something.
No.
Or anything like that.
But you do get the sense, because Voldo understands the mystical nature of things, and of time, and of infinite space, that his will is a bit stronger than Skag's was.
Okay.
And that he merely has a curious mind towards the sword itself. What can it do? Is what you think you can see in those sun-like eyes.
Well, while we're still in the clarity of the spirit containment field, I'm going to speak very pointedly and seriously to Voldo and say,
who's now pure shadow. Yep.
Yeah. This is a dangerous power you're wielding that you've taken hold of. You must exercise absolute will and control if you're going to try to harness this thing.
I see. You know me, man. I mean, 100% caution. It's my motto.
Rev just goes, that's what I was afraid of.
No,
You do-
but for reals,
You
I
do
get
notice
this.
that when he speaks to you, he doesn't seem to be somebody that's under the influence of anything. He seems quite coherent.
Okay. All right. Rev will say, "All right, I'm putting trust in you, Voldo. Don't
I won't let you
stab us in the
down.
back."
I won't let you down. But I mean, if I get possessed or something, don't hold it against me so much. I mean, that did just happen to you, so
Yeah, like I don't know if I'll be as forgiving as Doc, but I'll try.
Exactly.
Is there anything that you feel in regards to what you're seeing? Marvin is he's just like, I can't believe what is. I should have you get the look, you get the feeling that the look is that I should have stayed outside. The feel that I didn't expect to see this.
Oh, why? Because Marvin's still in there.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's Marvin's look, just going, what?
I'm basically just internalizing all of this. I'm trying to break it down, and it's just not really computing. But I keep lending it to the fact that there's just something crazy going on here at this place, and that to be honest, I'm kind of thinking we bit off more than we can chew, but the show must go on. So
We already made it this far, so
Yeah.
What do you do with the
I'm
sword?
definitely a little more leary of Voldo. My
Ooh.
trust for him has decreased a little bit. I think that having gone through what I did with Rev, now I don't trust.
So you
whatever's
forgive
happening.
Rev, but you don't trust me. Okay.
Well, I mean, I didn't know anything. I was completely shocked by Rev's situation, and he clearly went back to normal. You're still. I'm witnessing you basically
Rev
some kind
didn't
of
have a
virus.
choice.
Only
But
when my sword's out.
Voldo kind of chose to explore this kind of thing.
True.
So
I just think if anybody can handle this, it should be me who should be able to handle something like this.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you as much of the benefit of the doubt as I can, but
All right.
I'm definitely developing a third eye when it comes to Voldo.
Marvin kind of looks at you and just goes, is it okay if you just go back to your old self? This self is kind of creeping me out.
Yeah, I mean, that sword, we just basically took it from an enemy. I mean,
Yeah, but he was like a pussy. He was super weak. He just come on. His brain was weak.
True.
Rev's gonna ask Voldo to put it away before he
Oh, that's
releases the
right.
container. Yes,
Wait,
we
do I
can.
got stats on this thing then?
Yeah, I'll give it to you at some point.
Okay, what's the name of it? Just so I know.
You currently have the Blade of the Endless Night.
Shit.
I swear, Voldo's like the guy who collects all the loot.
Well, I mean, I can't believe you guys don't.
Because we're afraid of what this loot's gonna do to us.
I always
jumping right in.
I always wait till we're about to leave the room, and then I'm like, okay, I guess nobody's gonna grab it. I'll grab it. See what happens.
Grabby hands. That's your nickname, Mr. Grabby Hands.
And I haven't even had to use thieving hands on anything to really get it.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to give you those stats right now. Give me one quick second as I switch scenes so I can dump it in chat, and I'll be right back here.
Oh, all right.
Pie Boy said, "You are loot boy."
Yeah. That's what's up.
One of the guys who's in my chat all the time, Kenny.
That is yours, Mike.
Boom. All right.
He's always like, make sure you max your looting stat. So Voldo has max looting stat.
Okay, we are right back.
Max looting stat.
Just so you know exactly what comes with the Blade of the Endless Night. Once you do have it out, you are completely covered in shadows. Attacks against you are unfavorable for the duration of time that you have it. You do have Corrupted Soul, though. You can only retrieve it once per day until you are fully attuned to it. The longer you wield the weapon, the more bloodthirsty and unruly it becomes. You need to roll well-being and a mere fate roll. If you begin to fail these rolls, each ability costs an additional 2 exhaust for you to do. And if you don't inflict any damage, you need to double that cost.
That's all in the notes, right?
Yep.
Okay, good. Okay.
Each turn that you take that you do not inflict any damage to anybody, you lose -2 vitality and -2 exhaust. Your choice. Either or. Sorry.
Okay.
You do have this special ability called Furious Winds. Your runic blade begins to pulse and the voice of the hunger pounds within your mind. You feel like you're losing consciousness and some other power seems to take control of you. At blistering speed, you blink up to 40 feet and strike with the whirlwind fury all targets within a 10-foot radius at your position. You do stun and corruption. You can do runic slash while you have these out. You can only do these abilities while you have the sword out, Mike.
Okay.
At no other point are these abilities.
Yeah, only when I pull it out, and I can only pull it out once a day.
Right. You have runic slash. You're draped in shadow. You blink up to 40 feet again and impale a single target. Your runic blade begins to pulse once again, and you feel starfire being transferred into the blade before it erupts like a bomb, creating a wave of dark power. It expels out, called stun and corruption. And then endless night. You can wrap all your allies in the shadows for 1 turn, cause any attacks made against them to be unfavorable. They do need to make a steel check to ensure they do not feel the corruption of the shadow upon their souls. So those are the cool things that you get with that weapon. So it does have some abilities to do some big damage if you do notice that the numbers are quite impressive.
Yeah. 2d12, 2d12. I'll take that.
Voldo
Alright.
does seem
Times
like the right
2.
person to get this.
Times
you know.
2.
This
He's like
rev,
Yeah, this one seems up
transporting
my
all
alley.
over the place.
yeah, allows him to transport around. Immediately,
Just as the-
immediately
yeah,
the
there's the
doctor
corruption
thinks,
thing, so.
I could be doing that.
Yeah.
With that, would you like to your containment field drop?
Okay.
You can start to feel that there's a little bit of a strain upon you, and you stop it before it takes any more from you. Did you minus the 2 from using it?
I did. I took the 2 exhaust off for using that.
Okay.
And so I'm not at half speed anymore, right? Since I only have the book, is that correct? Or am I still at half speed, half movement because I have the book strapped at my waist?
Rev,
Yes.
you notice that same feeling is still upon you. And maybe
the
it
book
was
all
the
along.
book itself.
Should never trust the Grimoire.
As you continue down the hallway itself. Now armed with a new weapon, Voldo. A weapon that does not need to be held by you. Merely
Yeah, it's put away
sits
now.
merely sits in another dimension. Voldo comes back to being his normal Voldo mummified self. Doctor, you see Voldo drop the shadows and just reemerge as who he was before. And the sword merely, again, dematerializes out of his hand.
And the smug look on his face, like, I got a new toy.
Absolutely. Marvin gives you kind of a look, with the look of, did you see that, Doc? Crazy.
He's just jealous.
Rev like goes to Marvin.
Yeah, I'm gonna basically
Keep
just
eyes
say,
on him.
hey, now that you got that sword, why don't you give me your whip so I could have
I was totally thinking
a
that.
good
actually.
one and a damaged one. I could sling them both.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say give the damaged one to Marvin, and I'll give you the good one I have.
Marvin,
I like that.
Marvin will
Yeah.
take it.
Yeah, because right now he's only got that gun, and he's just failing with that so hard.
Okay.
Poor Marvin.
With that, in the chat, you should see where the razor whip information is.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
Okay. Yeah.
He
I'll
does.
need
Yeah,
He does have a
you
damaged
changed it,
one,
right?
so it's only 2D
2d8 instead of 3,
2d8,
right?
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
and
that's
then
2d8. Okay.
and then the good doctor will have the 3d8.
Okay.
Sweet.
So it's the same one except it's 2d8 instead of 3d8. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, I'll put that in for Marvin.
So he does have a micro fiber razor whip. Okay, as you guys continue down the hallway, you start to notice that the hallway probably goes about another 100 feet before it reaches a staircase that goes down. The staircase seemed to be made out of, again, that same kind of sandstone, almost limestone like. But you do notice that across all the steps itself seem to be ancient runes that glow. Does anyone choose? I know the doctor does have deciphering languages. Did you want to try to find out what the possible writing of these runes are,
Yeah.
Doctor? Go ahead and
Yeah.
roll a d20 if you could, please.
Prep trumps luck.
Wow. Every time, every first one. So it's
Crazy. 19.
Okay, make sure you deduct the exhaust for using preparation. With that, you're in.
It says 0 exhaust.
Oh, is it 0?
Yeah.
your boy.
Next season, that'll change.
I know, right?
Okay.
Yeah. You shouldn't have said that. You shouldn't have said that.
It takes very little energy to roll another.
Okay. As you investigate and you take a look at the runes themselves, you start to see patterns. And you see that there's some ancient historical text that you do recall seeing, that you start to see how the language itself was constructed, and you start to be able to create some basic sentences. But from those basic sentences, in mere minutes, you start to create and understand the language itself and how it was constructed. And those simple sentences become more complex until you get a correct deciphering of what you notice that seems to be wrapped open serpentine-like. And once the sentence stops, it continues again down these steps. And the message that you get is dark is the descent into darkness, down into the slumbering sleep of the one who brings the gods of eternity to the feet of the damned. You notice now that the walls seem different, though. They seem to be more worn. An interesting coloration seems to be affecting these sandstones, who are kind of a bright sand brownish. These seem to be more of a whitish gray as the further and further you go down these steps. You notice that the braziers are still illuminated, but instead of the braziers being fueled by flame, it's just merely small globules of enchanted light. Once reaching the bottom, you emerge into a very large space that you see contains a very large
Chasm, is that what you said?
sorry.
Okay.
You see a very large chasm.
Okay.
With the only thing that seems to be crossing this chasm is one single old suspension bridge that stretches across this deep, dark chasm towards what you can see on the other side as an amazing, almost awe-inspiring construction. A carved entryway on the other side. The entryway seems old, but it has an almost awe-inspiring look to it. Something ancient, yet timeless. What lies across the chasm is an amazing example of rock-cut architecture. 4 large stone columns sit before you, bookending a massive arched entrance. The columns hold up a massive 2-tier overhang with the sculpted 3D images of Kaio sitting above it. Runes, you notice, are placed all over the structure itself. They are almost like optical illusions. They're there at one angle, and yet gone in another. In between the tiered overhangs, again, are the 3D sculpted rock images of other planets: Earth, Jupiter, Saturn, Soldaria, Neptune, Pluto, Terra 1, and many others. The work, you notice, is very intricate. It can only be done with the skill of a great sculptor. You notice, though, that there's a faint humming that can be heard from across that chasm. But the humming is now starting to fill this large space. A large space of just jutting walls behind you, jutting walls in front of you. You can't see the top. You can't see if there's anything above you. It is mere darkness. Darkness above, a dark chasm in front of you, a single suspension bridge, a brazier that is lit on one side, your side, a brazier that is lit on the other side, that illuminates this beautiful structure, this archway. The closer you get, though, to the entryway, a breeze seems to blow through this space. You start to see dust kick up at your feet. It floats up, creating some kind of image in front of you, almost spherical, and then disappears into the chasm itself. The sand itself seems to move on its own, like shifting sand, like a coiled viper, then blowing away into the chasm itself. And as you look up again, and it wasn't there before, you again see that night sky enchantment that you've seen in many of the other rooms. The one that you saw in the library. The one that was fixed for a time within the halls of affliction. It merely floats above you, seeing the night sky, the galaxies, the Milky Way, asteroids and comets jutting across the sky. And Kaio, again, only being the only moon in view. The air seems heavy, though, again, but it's enchanted. It seems to be coming from the entryway across that bridge, as if it's alive, beyond those shadows and what's beyond. Only this bridge lies behind, only a bridge lies between the here and there. What would you gentlemen like to do?
I wanna inspect this sky above us that keeps appearing. Is there any way to use mystical investigation, something to figure out if that's a physical thing or if it's some sort of enchantment that is appearing above us?
Go ahead and roll in this.
Gotta be an enchantment. But
Okay. Okay, with mystical, I rolled a 21.
You absolutely, this is a spell. This is an enchantment. But you get a sense that it exactly depicts what the night sky outside looks
Oh,
perfectly to a T. Other than the fact that Kaio is
That
the
it's
only one there and Tavo is not.
Okay. Can I tell if this enchantment is connected to anything down here? Like a person or a power or something? Can I tell if it's connected that way?
Based on your roll, it's safe to say that this enchantment is attached to the stone garden itself.
Okay. I was gonna say, I'm gonna tell the other two, this enchantment has something to do with the power that the stone garden has in this area.
I think he conjures it whenever we show up at a new location with him.
I think he conjures
Seems
it,
to
and
be
I think it might help fuel whatever illusions and power he has here.
Rev,
Yeah,
Is what we're seeing real? Can you tell?
No, it's not real.
it's a spell. He
Yeah,
said.
it's a spell.
Well, I mean, all that stuff that Scott was describing on the other side of the bridge.
Oh, that I don't know. I think he just said the sky was a spell, and that was it, right?
Yeah, he was merely asking about the sky itself. I
Mhm.
would also
Oh,
say,
so
though,
we're still underground then.
Yeah.
yes, I would also say to you, Rev, that you get the feeling that he sees himself as Kaya,
Oh,
and that the enchantment, especially Kaio in there, that's a watchful eye
okay.
that follows your movement. It seems to always appear and disappear out of a room and reappear at some other point.
So
Some
I
way of
now know
keeping
how he's been.
watch.
Yeah, I now know how he's been seeing everything we've been doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he himself is Kaio.
Okay. He is his eye of Sauron, basically.
So then, do I have the other eye as my necklace, or the other moon as my necklace? Is that what
No, it was just a
no,
it was
okay,
just a
got it right.
pendant itself.
Gotcha. Okay.
Well, I'm going to tell the rest of my group all that I've discovered and say the stone garden is watching us right now, and he will see whatever we do.
I expected no less, to be honest. We're in his lair.
Makes sense.
Marvin ventures forward, not really taking too much interest in this night sky again. And he's trying to do his best to take a look at the architecture that is across. And then he notices that he's like checking out the suspension bridge itself, which seems to be the only way across. And you see him just go, "Boss." And you see
What is
he
it, Marvin?
kind of puts his foot on it and gives it the old like shake. He's like,
The old test.
"Yeah, sturdy." But it's also the look of like,
I don't want to go on this.
not me first.
Rev's trying to think if there's a way to blot out this eye, or at least keep it from having a perfect view on what they're doing. He's afraid that there's going to be another trap or a bridge give out or something, because he's going to see exactly.
It's definitely what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Definitely a trap. It's definitely, yeah.
See us as
Sketchy
we try to cross
bridge.
this thing.
Sketchy bridge. Yeah, somebody's gonna get hurt.
Rev actually looks over to the doc and says, "Doc, you got any idea how we can get across this chasm without using this bridge?"
I'm gonna inspect the bridge
Okay.
using engineering or whatever I can.
Whichever one you like to roll, go ahead and roll it. I would say you could use scientific engineering here if you'd like.
Engineering seems like it'd be a good one.
Yeah.
See if it's stable
Wow.
enough.
Sure, engineering.
9.
Rev,
I mean, science is yeah.
Rev
science
has
is a good
engineering.
one.
Can he?
That
can he help
was
the
that
doc?
was science.
Oh, was it?
They do engineering. They do engineering.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
Rev has
Would be
engineering.
less.
Let me try it.
Sure. Go ahead, Rev. Go ahead and roll engineering. Nice science.
I rolled a 9 with my engineering.
Okay.
Hey, well, I've got science. Let me take a stab at it.
Yeah, would you
Taking the science route.
before you do that, Voldo, you're actually just seeing the doctor and Rev both looking at it, like stepping on it, and you could see it like flexing a little too much, and they're just going like, "Yeah, I think we can do this." Like Marvin's looking at it too, just kind of like, "Yeah."
Everybody's okay.
It's the Zoolander where they're like bumping on the
Yeah,
computer.
they're just like stepping up.
Yeah.
It's in the computer. So go ahead, you can roll if you like.
Yes. Wait. Yes. Science. Yeah, I have that 20.
20.
Yeah.
You immediately go up to them and you pull them back, and you're
Yeah,
knowing
it's okay.
you're knowing that this isn't like even high tension fiber cabling that's holding this together. This is just like old worn rope and few wooden slats that will obviously get you across to the other end. And you immediately look at it and just like, any one of us walk across this, and we're plummeting into the darkness.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah, we gotta find another way around it.
Can we tell how long, how the distance of this gap?
I will say, even with for each one of you, the thought that comes into your head is it's far enough, and it seems to resonate within you.
Far enough. Because I was thinking Voldo could like do his little portal thing across, but I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems it's too far for that, right? Okay. Is it too far for that? You don't know? All right, okay.
What's the range on your thing? Is like 40 yards or something?
Oh, 60 feet is my arrow's range. So I don't know what
You
that.
don't know what's your portal?
No, I don't think that one has a range.
Well, you're talking about temporal rift. You have 40 feet on
Yeah. Oh, that. Well, yeah. Okay, I guess that's what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I
okay,
think that's
yeah.
what he's telling you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like you do your whole.
Yeah. Okay, 40
Night
feet
crawler
away. Then,
thing.
yeah. Because I can
Okay.
transport something 40 feet away after I suck it up or whatever.
Okay.
Okay. So probably not.
It looks like it could be 40 feet, maybe.
Possibly.
You
Rev
do notice
does
though.
have-
Everybody roll awareness if you could.
Okay,
While
okay,
you're doing that.
Oh, 21.
13 for me.
Doc,
5.
Duck, you're really just shaking that suspension bridge, thinking, I can get across this, no problem.
No, guys, check it out.
Unfortunately-
this is.
Oh, Marvin is like holding you back at this point, just going, whoa, Duck, getting too
Give it a
crazy here.
sec.
Getting a little too crazy here. Voldo, you notice as you take a look at it, it seems like the bridge is playing tricks on your vision, on your mind, like it's an optical illusion. You look at it at one angle and it looks like it's only 30 feet. You look at another angle and it looks like it's 200. You can't figure out exactly. You kind of like try to even shake it out, like maybe it's just like this stress of being down here. But
You know, like pull up Rev and Doc and show them, like, see right here, it looks like we're like a good 150, 200 feet away. And then right here, it looks like we could swim there if it was
Yeah.
full of water.
you pull
Can I
over.
show that to them?
Yeah, you pull Rev and you pull Doc over and you show it to them, and that's what you guys see. Is in different places it looks shorter. In different places it looks longer. It's a constant moving optical illusion, and you can't truly know. Well, here's the thing: you can't truly believe what you're seeing
Okay.
as spatial truth.
Rev has an idea of he has high tension cable and he's got a toolkit. He has this idea of making a kind of grappling hook to try to throw across and wrap around one of the pillars that we see over there.
I actually have a grappling hook, but my rope is
Oh.
gone.
Oh.
Well, you have
Well,
the
then
grappling
with our
hook.
powers
Grappling hook is
combined-
independent of the rope.
That's what I'm saying. My rope is
It
gone.
has its own rope.
It's independent.
So it's just a metal hook itself. It's not an actual.
No, he has it. It
It
just say
comes with its own rope.
it comes with its own
Okay.
amount of rope
Rope.
itself. It doesn't need rope to do it. Is what I'm saying.
Oh,
Gotcha.
okay. Well,
How
Rev
long
wants
is
to,
that
like,
rope?
test this by throwing the grappling hook across and seeing if we can throw it far enough
Sure.
to
How
try
much?
to grapple around.
How much is the good
rope is
doctors?
that? How
The
much
good. I
rope
think
is there?
the doctor can grapple like 50 or 60 feet if he uses his grappling hook. So Rev, you do have rope though,
I have high tension cable that I've had with me since the beginning of time
Okay.
that I've hardly
and
ever
you
used.
fashioned something to create some kind of hook.
Yeah, basically.
How much?
Glass
How
on
much
it.
of it? Like, how many feet of it do you have?
I was actually going to look. I don't know if if I have, let me look up if there's a list of what the high tension cable length is. I'm looking at the items. Items. Grappling hook is for 60 feet. High tension cable. Where is it?
Okay. Well, were you looking that up, Rip?
Yeah, I'll look it
Doc,
up.
what did you want to do? You want to try to give that baby a whirl?
Was I gonna use it in with whatever Rev has? Was that your idea?
Yeah,
we're
my
gonna use
idea
the
was to
cable.
like wrap it to make it even long, like tie it together
Oh, nice. Okay.
and throw it across and see if it will reach. If we're having like optical illusions, I want to throw something physical to see if we can tell.
Well, if you want to, you can tie it. Let's just say, for the sake of it, you got like 50, 60 feet.
Okay.
If you attach it to the doctor's grappling hook, he can fire it, and that gives you, let's just say, 120 feet. Fair enough.
Okay. Okay.
There we go.
That's cool. Yeah, that seems good.
All right, Doc, are you gonna shoot this thing?
I guess is that what it is? There's like some kind of firing apparatus.
Yep. Grappling hook.
Yeah. Okay. Got some
All
power
right. What
behind
am
it.
I shooting at again, Rev? You said there's some columns or
There were
something.
those 4 columns he said that were around the door. I'm wondering, like Indiana Jones' whip, if we can fire it, pull it back so it like wraps around and grapples itself, basically.
If we get it at an angle behind it, like bounce
Yeah.
it around type of thing.
There
I
are
like it.
there are like little posts at either end of the suspension bridge that it's attached to as well. Those are closer.
Are those? Can we tell if those are sturdy as opposed to the rest of the bridge?
Well, there's
things?
2 on your side. They're made out of some heavy duty wood. They don't seem to be splitting or anything like that. So, I mean, you can't necessarily see what those other ones look like, but when you see these, and they seem to be pretty sturdy.
We're talking about vertical posts, right?
Yeah,
Even
I
the
think
columns, everything's where there's nothing horizontal to try and whoop. We got to try and like actually shoot.
nothing that you can see that is within logical distance.
Right. Well, physically, I'm wondering how it's even possible to wind something around this way when you're shooting straight.
We just gotta hope it gets hooked on something when it shoots over there.
What are the size of these posts for the bridge?
I'd say they're probably a good 2-3 feet in diameter. They're
God.
funky, sturdy things.
Is there any way that looks like it we should be able to hook onto it?
With a well
Oh,
placed
okay.
shot, probably. His grappling
like a
hook does
shot,
come
yeah.
with some kind of hook that obviously can hook in.
Yeah.
Even if you
Okay.
did fire it with a well placed shot, it probably can impale itself inside the wood as well.
Okay.
Depends on our roll, is what it says.
It's
Mhm.
always on a roll.
Oh, they're made of wood. Is that
Yeah.
what it is?
Correct.
All right. So if I hit one of these posts, guys, I mean, are we using that to hold on to while we try and cross the bridge so that if we fall, we can?
Yeah, I'm thinking a hand over hand kind of thing.
Yeah. As little pressure on both of them as possible.
So you're thinking of tying one end to each end of each of the posts, kind of thing.
Like
Yeah.
one right above the bridge, so you can walk on the bridge and hold the rope at the same time.
Well, how would that work with the posts being kind of level?
Yeah, the post itself is probably only about 3 feet, 3.5 feet up.
Rev's
So
idea
not-
was actually to avoid stepping on the bridge at all.
Oh, okay.
Right, I know, but I'm just saying, like, how? Okay, well, what are the columns made of? They're probably made of stone or something.
On the other side, they are absolutely. At least from
Yeah.
what you can notice, they seem to be made out of the same
So in
sandstone
order to hook
formation.
them, we'd have to like. I mean, obviously the columns go and then they're hooked into something, right? So how
If we get a
exactly are we
well-placed-
gonna?
If we rolled well on a shot, we could probably just hook it onto anything, depending on how well we rolled it.
Well, we could always just tie it to both ends of the bridge and just hold it at waist high and just hold on to it. I mean, the bridge falls from under us, we're gonna be holding on to it either way. So
yeah, I mean, I say we try and use the bridge just so we could kind of relieve tension on both of them. But yeah, although it's probably easier if you do it above your head because it's easier to hang on to something than to hold yourself up with a rope at your waist.
no, I understand, but I mean, we don't have anything above our heads to tie it to.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So at least if we have a grip on something, the bridge is holding us up. That's the whole point. If it gives out, we just grab onto the rope.
Yeah, let's just try and get it above the bridge, like in that range where we can grab it. Go for it. Take a shot.
And try and kind of yank it back to where it hooks on, and I mean, however you decide how high it is or where we hook it. Because what I'm thinking is the top of the posts are about waist level. So if ideally I want to hook it to the top of the post on the other side, so I could tie it off of here, so we don't have to like bend down. We can at least kind of cross the bridge with the rope kind of in our hands or something, or maybe even tether ourselves to it somehow.
That works.
You know, like a safety strap.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that then.
Yeah, just make the shot. See if we even get it, because you might miss.
Yeah, exactly. See if we even get it.
I'm rolling D20 or what?
Just roll D20.
All right, well, remember I got power, so I'm sure. Oh no, it's spring loaded or something. Is what you said?
Yeah, you're just rolling D20.
16.
Oh. You place what you seem to be a well-placed shot towards the other wooden post.
Can we tell how far away it was? Like how much rope was used up?
It uses up just about all of it.
All right.
As it gets over there and falls short to the chest. Rev, roll awareness. Boldo, roll awareness. Marvin, roll awareness. Doc, roll awareness.
12.
5 for Rev. Am I rolling for Marvin or is
I
5 away?
I rolled for Marvin.
Oh, you did? Okay. Damn, because I got a really good roll.
Voldo,
I got 12.
Doc, Marvin, and Voldo see that this shot doesn't even get halfway across. For Rev, it seems just short.
Can we grab we still have the rope though attached.
I was planning on holding the end.
Yeah, I'm to assume one of you guys was holding it.
Yeah.
Rev's not losing his.
I can only imagine you guys just firing, just guys watching it, just going, well.
Yeah, I don't think I can handle the trauma of losing another rope.
Another rope. No, yeah, Rev, you just hold it and you just start to yank it back.
I'll reeling it in. Yeah. Well,
that's gonna be a lot harder than I thought.
So
Rev just goes just a little bit over 120 feet. If only we had a little more rope.
120 feet, man. It didn't even go halfway. What are you looking
at? Rev just like
blind.
I saw exactly what
I imagine there's a reason why he saw it one way and we saw it a different way. There's really not. We don't.
He got a smaller roll.
Even though you hear him say that, Doc, there's a bit of a twinge, like a knife being turned to your back. When you hear him say, if we just had a little bit more rope.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I obviously
didn't
have
I have a feeling no matter how much rope we had, we wouldn't be able to make it.
Yeah, if I would have had the presence of mind to take the rope off him before Voldo banished him.
The blade just keeps bouncing around. That was Voldo's fault.
I mean, secretly I harbor a little bit of resentment toward for not thinking that himself. And looking at him, knowing he had my.
But it's totally cool. But
still
Rev is
choosing to
totally cool
banish him.
killing you.
Yeah.
You can kill me, but don't take away my possessions.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my back was turned.
Oh man.
Okay, so based on that information, gentlemen, Rev did retrieve it.
All right,
Pulls it
got my
back
rope.
in.
Okay.
Is there anything
we do
else
now?
you'd like to do?
We can draw straws to see who just wants to test the strength of this thing. And I mean, unless there's anything else we can fire at, our only recourse is to try and cross.
Who's the lightest one? Who's the lightest one out of all of us?
Marvin has a gun. Can he shoot across and see
You like him to
if the
see?
bullet gets all the way across? See if there's like some sort of barrier or something.
Just roll a d20. Let him fire away.
All right.
I feel like that's a bad idea. He might shoot the bridge.
Pie Boy's the Marvin rollers.
Go ahead and roll Pie Boy for Marvin if you're there, good sir. And tell us what you get.
D20 for shooting across.
Pie Boy rolls. Marvin rolls a 12.
12.
Not horrible. Okay.
Marvin takes a stance, fires his bullet. Each of you roll awareness.
Okay.
We all duck.
20.
17.
3.
Okay. You know for certain that a well-placed shot from that rifle can go up to 300 yards. And you notice, you see it impact about 12 feet below the other side of the chasm.
12 feet below. Okay. Rev's confused. Man, I thought my 160 foot rope almost made it.
I have a feeling it just, no matter how close we think we are, it's just out of reach.
Yeah.
One of those. There's some kind of enchantment going on. I don't know. It's
In the back of your heads, you each think it's just far enough.
Yeah.
That's where he wants us to go.
There's no other. There's nothing on the walls or anywhere that lends itself to crossing this other than the bridge.
As far as you can see, this seems to be the only way that you can surmise is the way to get across.
Does anyone
It's
have
placed
a
here
light,
for a
like
reason.
a flashlight or high powered light? Did you have something like that, Rev?
Rev has a plasma cutter.
Anybody have a lantern?
No.
Or anything that can shine down into the chasm?
No glow stick?
No, I don't have anything like that.
Unfortunately,
Unless there's
no.
something like it in the toolkit. I don't have anything like that.
Yeah, we gotta try and earn some money after this because we gotta stock up on some supplies. We gotta like whore ourselves out.
In the back of your head, Rev, you think to yourself, damn you, Otis, for losing in my lighter.
Yeah, my lighter. That's right.
I mean, I have a Helicon data flash tablet. Does that have a light on it?
It's like holding up your cell
Probably
phone.
not.
Yeah, it's pretty much holding up a cell phone. It has an LCD screen. It only goes so far.
Yeah.
The good doctor, you notice the good doctor, like,
Yeah.
has this, like, data thing just weaving it around, and you're just thinking to yourself, wow, that's not doing anything.
I'm getting a very Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade vibe. Can Rev like walk along the edge, kicking dust across to see?
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Yeah.
Just to see if rocks fall down or if like there's some path that we just can't see.
Sure, absolutely. You go around kicking up someone, obviously the sifted dust and dirt that is sitting on top of this ledge, and it all seems to go into the cabin.
Okay.
Down into the dark. Though
All right.
once it goes and reaches the darkness, you don't hear anything.
No
Nothing
sound
but
of rocks hitting the
before.
ground.
Nope.
I think we just gotta go for it. I think it's one of those.
Each
Gotta
one of
take a
you-
leap of faith.
Each one of you roll awareness if you could.
Awareness again. Okay.
And 3.
4.
15.
As Rev and Voldo are kicking rocks into the darkness, Doctor, you notice something that you can't believe you didn't notice before. Sitting on top of one of the wood kind of pylons that hold that suspension bridge, sits upon it a silver thrush.
Silver what?
A silver thrush.
What? What's a thrush?
It's a bird.
Okay.
And it merely is just looking at you. Quizzically. Head just turned offset. And it's looking only directly at you.
Looking at me?
Yes.
Okay.
Square up.
Hey, you guys see this bird over here? Anybody?
Revs,
Take a
Voldo,
look.
you quit kicking rocks into the void. You were having so much fun
Where?
when you hear the doctor speak to you.
See what? I turn to see what he's pointing at.
Come over here, get a load of this. There's this bird. He seems like he's looking at me.
There's a bird looking at you wrong. Let's go take a look. Let's go run up to him. Can we
Rev
see?
thinks
Can we
he's
see it
crazy.
staring?
Bird, what would a bird be doing down here?
I don't know. It's a silver bird. It's sitting on this bridge post, and he's looking at me.
Marvin immediately puts his gun up to it.
Yeah.
He goes,
I got this one.
it's not real. I know it isn't.
Rev's like, Marvin, just chill out. Chill out.
You sure, boss?
I'm sure. It's just a bird. Flying would probably be pretty useful in our current situation.
And I mean, it could be one of those birds that are just making sure
Okay.
there's no gas in here, you know?
How big is it?
Probably something that can fit within your palm.
Some kind of like a canary, often used in tunnels. Make sure there's no gas leaks.
Upon
So checks
each
out.
one of you coming over and seeing, now you can actually see this silver thrush standing there.
Uh-huh.
It each looks at you, and you notice that within its eyes, you see galaxy.
Galaxy.
At least, if anything, reflecting. You just don't know.
Are these the same? Are these galaxies and stars a similar feeling as the ceiling overhead?
Not that you do notice.
Not that we notice. Okay. Hmm.
And it starts to begin to knock on that wood post. And you feel compelled to get closer.
Uh-oh. Can we tell if there's anything up with it?
I'm just gonna try and grab it.
Go for it.
You try to grab it.
As you go to reach out, Doc, for some reason you feel an unseen or unknown power stop you. As if you hit some kind of wall. You cannot go any farther.
Are you guys seeing this? I'm trying to grab this bird. I can't grab it.
Immediately, Rev and Voldo, you see this and you think, this guy has just gone crazy.
I'm telling you, there's something stopping me. I can't grab this bird.
Can we like go do the same thing to the walls?
If you would like to try.
Yeah, might as well.
I
Rev,
don't
kind of
want
weird it
to.
out. Like, okay, sure, bro, sure.
Rev doesn't want to grab it. He's intrigued by these galaxies he's seeing in the eyes. He's like
Sure.
entranced by that.
And I don't want to grab it. I just kind of want to like poke my finger gently, see if I can feel this like wall.
Rev, you're very watchful the thrush. But you
Uh-huh.
can't not see that on the side of you, Voldo is going and just can't go any farther. And the good doctor's just
Yeah.
going,
How was it? Yeah. Let me
you see
change.
this? And Voldo's going, you see this?
I want to change
I
my
mean, you
approach
guys-
to kind of get it to perch on my finger. See
I
if
mean, the
I
man's
could
not wrong.
make.
Marvin is now taking his rifle and he's starting to try to poke and just it won't go any farther either. He's just like,
You guys seeing this?
Does Rev know Morse code perchance?
Rev doesn't know what Morse code is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to knock back in Morse code to this little bird, but
You can attempt to knock back if you like.
Okay. The post that the bird is standing on, I would like to knock on the other post like I'm trying to communicate with it.
You move the doctor away, who's like,
Did we all
scientifically,
hear
this
the
makes no
knock?
sense.
Did we all hear the knocking? Like, was it like a rapid or was it
No,
just like
it's
knock, knock, knock?
Just a rapping, and it stops.
And he's doing it with his.
It's doing this with the beak, yep. As you guys are attempting to try to penetrate this invisible shield and just being completely mesmerized by the fact that you can't, Rev moves you out of the way and knocks on the other side of the wood pillar. The thrush immediately stops rapping. And you begin to, each one of you, hear a woman's voice inside your head. This bridge is enchanted. Like so much is here. They call it the bridge of weighted dreams.
Bridge of what?
Weighted dreams. The voice itself is something that is soothing, comforting, almost loving as it speaks to you. You don't know where this voice has now penetrated your consciousness, but you absolutely believe it is coming from this thrush, who is now merely just staring at you, the galaxies floating and spinning within its eyes. You must rid yourself now of that which is bound to you, that which carries the largest weight upon your very existence. But do not fret, adventurers. That which you carry most heavy will soon be returned to you once you cross the bridge. Toss it for now into the void and watch it lighten your load. Soon enough in time, that which you have cast off and carried will unfortunately be returned to you twofold. That is the price of the bridge. That is the price of the void.
We gotta throw Marvin into the chasm. That's
That's what
horrible.
I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing.
Marvin immediately looks at you and just goes, I heard Voldo.
Mhm.
Well, then we get 2 Marvins back if we cross the bridge. Is that?
Marvin immediately
Yeah,
starts
there
to
we go.
back up and just goes, no one's throwing me in it.
Mhm.
I don't think you heard her, but that which burdens you the most.
So yeah, we're hearing it right.
So you
Okay,
should,
so is that something for each of us? Like, there's something.
Sounds like it.
So it's not necessarily a physical thing.
the thrush
Yeah.
looks at you again, cocks its head, and just goes, yes. It is not a physical thing. It is that which burdens you the most.
Yeah, so like, what was like the last guy who came through here? What was his like biggest burden? Just this is like an example. We know what we're working with. Could you give us an example?
I am not the protector of this bridge.
Oh,
I just merely know what you've come here to achieve. And I am here to help if I can.
Interesting.
As they're all questioning her, Rev grabs his Naginata, his soul blade, takes it out, and just starts looking at it like he's focusing on what it costs him to wield this thing. And without saying anything to anybody else, he just throws it into the chasm.
As you throw it, it disappears into the blackness. You see physically yourself doing this. And then you look down, and the Naginata is still in your hand. And you hear the voice, "That is not the burden that I am talking about."
Rev puts it back on his back.
A for effort. A for effort.
For each of you, though, you did not notice that Rev did anything.
Oh, all right.
Rev was really just staring there, looking at the front. Again, you hear the voice inside your head. Search within inside you. Relieve yourself of that burdens you the most.
Can I like communicate with the other people? Like, can I like turn and like look at them and be like, "Are you guys hearing this? Like, you guys getting this?"
You notice, Voldo, that you don't have to speak. In this moment, you can speak telepathically to each one of your members.
Okay. So
I'm just gonna look. I'm gonna look at Voldo. I'm gonna look at Voldo, kind of like, what the hell? Like, I didn't necessarily like I kind of felt him say something, but it didn't seem like a normal means of communication.
then I'm just gonna drop out and be like, "Dude, what are you to this thing? What is this thing? What are?"
You were speaking to me?
Yes. How are we doing this? What is going on? Quick rundown.
You hear a pause, and then you hear it say, "My name is Larien. If Quran is the titan of life and death, I am the balance. We are two of the three. I am here because I've watched you and believe that you each have a role to play in what happens upon the days of the wastes. But I can speak no more of it, at least not yet. Just know for now I am here to present to you a path. When the time comes, I will speak to the ways of things more. When you are ready, your minds are too young for now. But know that which lies beyond is powerful, and just one of many dark things that Saldaria has to offer. I can only sense the spirit. Oh, I'm sorry. I can also sense the spirit of someone who is encaged, bound by darkness, by dark chains of starfall. She calls to me. Rev, Voldo, Marvin, Doctor, rid yourself of your burden and pray, help her if you can.
Pray to help her.
And pray you can help her if you can.
Help the Liliana or whatever her name is.
No, I think there's somebody bound across this chasm, is what she's telling us.
Oh my gosh. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to get rid of this. I'm wondering if
What is it supposed to be? That which burdens you. What does
Our-
that mean?
I'm wondering if our ability to cross the bridge relies on a successful unloading of this burden. If it doesn't have to be something physical, then I'm trying to figure out how to once I feel I've pinpointed what it is, how I'm supposed to shed myself of it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I got no idea. I got no idea
and
where we gotta go from.
I'm wondering if a successful crossing is indicative of that. I'm going to. I'm just going to kind of think for a little bit because I'm starting to think about the past. I'm starting to think about a little bit of what kind of drives me to do some of the things I do, and why I can't let them go. And I'm just going to think about the voice. I'm going to concentrate and do my best to just kind of release whatever it is and take a leap of faith and start walking across.
Doc, as you're having these things and you're thinking these things, you immediately you immediately notice that the thrush is inside your hand. Your palm is extended, and it merely just sits there and looks at you and just goes, "You seem to understand what I mean when I'm speaking about burden. Let go of your past. Let go of your wife. Let go of your mistakes. It drives you into madness. Dr. Ace Mars, it has made you into this. Shed it for now and cross freely. But it has to be of your own volition and of no other. And just know that the others will have no idea what you've shed. They will not know your secret, as you will not know theirs. It is a personal path, only one that you can accept. Rev, you notice that the doctor has his palm outstretched, but there's nothing in his hand. But he seems focused on staring at something. He's deep in thought.
When Rev receives his soul blade back and puts it away, he starts considering all the people he's failed, and he focuses on two people. One is Sarai, but the other is his sister from a long, long, long time ago. And those are the two things that he focuses on and thinks he doesn't know how to let go of that, the guilt and the feeling of failure or weakness when he thinks of not being able to save them or keep them safe. That's what he focuses on.
As you focus on this thought, Rev, you notice that the thrush is now sitting on your shoulder. You turn. You look as it kind of ruffles its feathers a little bit. And then you hear the voice inside your head say, "Let them go, Rev. They are what burden you the most. The loss of your sister. The loss of Sarai. If you can save someone dear, once again, if you can burden and shed yourself of it and cross the chasm. Remember, you let go of the burden for now, but unfortunately it will come back. That is the price of the bridge. That is the price of the void." Holdo, you notice that the doctor has his palm out. There's nothing there, but his focus is there. You notice that Rev's head is turned. He's kind of staring at his shoulder. There's nothing upon his shoulder, but he does so. You also notice that Marbin seems to be lost in thought. He's almost in a prayer-like state. His eyes glance almost past his hand into the void itself. What do you focus
How are we gonna? Because didn't you say like when I walked up, but when I was looking at it, like reminded me of before or something like that? I could be mixing that up, but I guess I'm just gonna kind of focus on like Waldo's life before all this war started going down. Before his like whole he got kidnapped from his family and taken as a slave and all that kind of stuff. Focus on just that kind of portion of his life.
Voldo, as you think about these things and you focus? Right in front of you, merely flapping and hovering, is the thrush. You hear nothing, you hear no sounds from the flapping wing as they flap furiously to hover in front of you. And then you hear the voice. Let it go, Voldo. Let go of all the pain that's been inflicted upon you. Let go of the vengeance and the bloodthirstiness to avenge the loss of so many people. To right the wrongs that have been done to you. The path that has led you to become who you are. That was not what you were intended to be. But unfortunately, it is who you are now. Let go of that vengeance and that pain. And venture across free, like you once were when you were a child. Rev, you stare at Voldo, who is merely looking directly at something. His eyes never waver, never leave it. The Doc, you notice this as well about Voldo.
Can I put my hand up and see if it'll land on my finger?
Would you like to try to do that?
Yeah.
You notice that Voldo starts to lift up his finger in his hand. In your mind, Voldo, it lands and sits there with a thankful glance at you. But for the Doctor, Marvin, and Rev, he's merely just holding his finger out into space. Then you hear the voice to each one of you. Are you prepared to let it go and to shed this burden?
I'm just gonna start singing. I'm just gonna start singing, let it go, let it go. And then, yeah. Then I'm gonna say, yeah.
Rev?
I am ready.
Doctor.
Body is ready.
I'm just kind of reluctant only because as she was saying what she said to me, for a second I considered the fact that as horrible as I feel at times, and as much as this has been haunting me, what she said about what'll happen once we cross kind of made it and realized, wow, okay, so I'm gonna have this twice as bad now.
Yeah.
Where it's like, and I'm just having this conflict. I'm conflicted inside because on one hand, I know there's really not much else to do but to go forward. But on top of what we have waiting for us on the other side, we're now going to have this internal battle that's escalated.
I understand.
But at the same time, it feels incredible to be somewhat alleviated of it for the moment, to where I basically I go with it and I decide, you know what, let's do this. I'm gonna submit.
You each agree
Mm-hmm.
with that, as
Yes.
well as Marvin. Each of you look down, and you notice that your hands are now folded in front of you. And in your hand, you see a bright red globule of just energy that is pulsating, like almost it's moving and it's fluctuating, almost like molten magma inside your hand. You immediately notice this is the physical manifestation of my burden. It sits there in front of you. You can hear the voices in it saying, "You can't let me go. You will not let me go." But the thrush reminds you, it is the price of the bridge. It is the price of the void. What would you like, gentlemen, like to do now that you have these physical manifestations?
Rev's gonna walk to the edge of the chasm, say, "I'm sorry," and then throw it in and start walking across the bridge.
Immediately as you do, Rev, you feel as if every burden, every care that you've harbored and held for so long was never ever there. You can't remember ever feeling that other than relieved and at peace. And as you walk across the bridge, your footsteps are light as a feather. Voldo, what would you like to do?
I'm just gonna punt mine off the cliff.
Just like drop.
Drop kick it. Yep.
As you punt kick it, you feel the exact same thing as Rev felt. Pure peace. You attempt to walk across the bridge.
Yeah.
You walk without any hindrance, almost floating across the bridge itself. Doctor, you hold yours for a bit longer, thinking the price of the void is such a twofold when you hear the voice of the thrush. At some point, it will come back. Maybe at the moment you cross the bridge. Maybe a year down the line. But the price is the price.
Well, in a sick way too, I kind of feel like, wow, this has been with me for so long. I've even, in a twisted way, I've even rationalized it and used it as a justification for things in life too. It's like that whole misery, being happy as a miserable person type thing. Um, emotional surgery being performed, and it's like, how do I. But at the same time, I'm like just shaking, squeezing it, and I with both hands, I throw it down.
You throw it into the void and it immediately disappears. You feel like a newborn child. Doc, whatever worries and concerns seem to just vanish away from you. You feel truly and utterly at peace with even your decision as you walk across the bridge to meet your friends on the other side. Rev, as you turn back, stands Marvin, who is merely holding his in his hand and looking into the void. And he looks to you and just goes, "How do I let it go? How can I let it go?"
With courage, Marvin. You must be courageous.
Marvin looks at you. He looks at Voldo. He looks at the doctor. And he just goes, but if it comes back twofold, I don't know if I could bear that.
You always do.
Marvin, do you want to be stronger?
I don't know if I can. His words, even though the chasm is wide, his words seem like he's speaking to you as if he's 4 feet away. You can feel that he's conflicted. The way he's speaking to you is much more serious. He does not know how to let it go.
You should go give your buddy a hug or something.
The thrush
Rev,
tells
what's-
you, unfortunately, once you cross the bridge, you cannot recover.
Oh, okay. You got this, buddy.
Rev says one last thing. You will not be alone, Marvin. Your strength is with us, and we will help you carry it.
Is that true, Doctor?
Do the best we can, yeah.
Doctor, you're conflicted the moment you say that. Because you know that twofold is a lot. Especially what you carry. Voldo, maybe you feel that you should say something. The twofold is a lot to carry. Rev,
Mm-hmm.
deep down inside, you know that unless you can start to right and fix somebody's wrong, twofold is more than you can bear.
Rev also knows if he tries to do it himself, he can't. So he knows he needs the help of the others. So that's what he wants to convey to Marvin, that if we work together to carry these.
Roll it, Boy, if you're still there, I don't know if you still are. Give me your yo if you are.
At 5 in the morning or whatever it is for him.
Oh, really? Oh.
Boy
Yeah,
is
he's in
not
UK.
there. Roll for Marvin. Marvin drops his weight into the void and attempts to walk across the bridge. The bridge snaps, and Marvin plummets into the void.
Well, Pie Boy killed Marvin.
That's what I saw.
You can hear his screams in your ear, Rev. As you hear him say, I did what you told me to do. And the thrush says, you didn't do enough. He did
Oh,
not
Marvin.
understand the price of the bridge. He did not understand the price of the void. You cannot shortchange. I am sorry for the loss of your friend.
Rev
So
is
because
just
he didn't fully give
reaching
it up,
out.
what it was. He didn't fully give everything up or give it up or whatever. Didn't fully trust. Didn't believe. Nicely done.
You hear the voice say to you, "This is no time for you to worry about those who are in the void now. He made his peace. He made his choice. You could not save him. He could not save himself. He was bound with guilt that he could not shake. But there is someone else before you who is bound with such burdens as well, that can be saved. It is
How
up
do
to
we know we
you,
can save this person if we can't even save Marvin?
because she still has a chance. And you hear that she says she. And in your head, Rev, you know who it is. You don't know why, but you hear the voice. Come on, Rev. Save my sister Jaina. She's the last of us. And she's
Sister.
here.
Rev never met his sister, did he?
He told you once that he had one, but that she was taken away right when he was essentially kicked out of North Blacktown. She was the only surviving member of his immediate family that he knew of. She's here, Rev. I know it. She's not her, but she's her.
Rev grabs the lucky dice that he's took from Otis, and he turns away from the chasm and starts walking towards that open door.
You hear the thrush say, "Thank you. You need my assistance. Call upon me. I will leave you now, but give you a blessing." And with that, that applies to Boldo and applies to the good doctor. You get the blessing of Larian, which immediately, the rest of the time, increase your vitality by 10.
That's 10 vitality. Okay.
Really?
And
That's like-
increase your exhaust by 2.
Like 2. Okay. That's like our maximum, right?
Well, until you level up.
Right. So, okay.
So I don't know what your total is now, Rev.
Well, I mean, is it plus on top of whatever our
Yeah, just
max
from
is
now
for
on,
this guy?
increase that vitality max.
Okay,
by 10.
gotcha. Okay,
So if you were like 55, you're at 60.
gotcha,
whatever
gotcha,
it is.
yeah. And if you're Marvin, you're dead. No
Fair
vitality.
trade.
Fair trade.
High Boy wasn't there to roll.
Yeah, exactly what it was.
He was after he died.
Yeah, he was.
F for Marvin in the chat, right?
Oh, boy.
What are you up to now, Jane?
52.
Okay. With
Really?
that,
Seems a lot.
Voldo and Doc, you notice that Rev is now walking with a purpose
Oh.
into the large hallway, the large archway. Rev, as you do look up, you notice that there's words scrawled into the archway itself.
No.
And it
Can I read them?
says, absolutely, it is in common.
Okay.
It says, the City of Warband. where all roads must end.
Roads must end.
Do you follow after him?
Yeah. Yeah.
Doctor? Marvin?
Hey.
I think Otis's gun is cursed. If you have
Doctor,
his
do you
gun,
continue
die.
to follow?
Yes.
With that, as you enter in and pass through the way too soon, as you enter in and you pass through the archway itself,
A personal welcome seems to be in order soon. Soon enough. You've killed my first creation, the scholar. You've killed my second creation, the writer. But the third of my machinations will not fail me. Come and enter your eternal slumber now, at the hands of my child, Jaina.
the two large stone doors that stand before you, engraved upon them, you notice is a mural of the galaxy itself, with Saldaria at its center. Light, comets, asteroids all diverge at the center of Saldaria itself. As you venture in, probably about 40 feet in, stand two other doors. These doors are not made of sandstone, these are steel doors. That immediately, as you walk in, braziers light up from merely nothing. And the doors open. As you look back, you notice that the bridge is no longer there. That the thrush is gone. But that doesn't change anything. Rev, you have a purpose. You have heard a voice. You have lost a friend. But you have heard a voice. As the doors fully open to this new chamber, you can hear a wind of voices whispering to you. Their words are mere mumbles, but it causes you to think twice about moving forward. Still you do. The hall before you seems to The hall before you seems to illuminate. I'm reading this wrong because I'm really tired. I apologize. The hall before you begins to illuminate. Razors roar to life. The hall seems stretched out of proportion, though, like a child in a fun house. It seems like it almost twists at every angle, ever so slightly, causing you even to question your footing. Your equilibrium seems to be off as well. Though you seem to feel like you're being pulled into the halls itself like a black hole, sucked into oblivion, stretched thinly around a large sphere, and rolled down a hill to the rushing rivers below. The hall seems to go on forever. You feel punch drunk, breathing in heavy, dark, enchanted stale air. As you drift, though, the whispers start to grow and speak to you. They speak to your fears and insecurities, yet you continue to keep moving. They speak to your doubts and your worries, and yet you seem to keep moving. They cause you to question the very reason you're here, and yet you seem to keep moving. You look back to the way you've come, and the braziers behind you each begin to extinguish, and the doors begin to close behind when a voice can be heard swimming within your ear.
The way is closed. This is where roads end.
As you enter this room, you notice it is a small circular room with a well in the middle on the lip of a stone circular setting. On top of the well itself sits a goblet, and beyond it, which you can see, in a very dimly lit room, almost of pure moonlight, you can see shadows upon another door that seems to be closed. From the shadows emerges a young woman. She's no more of 20 years of age. She's about no more of 5 feet tall, with jet black hair. Her hair is tied up into 2 pigtails and with 2 ribbons. The ribbons are shaped like moons that seem to glow in starlight. She is draped in a red hooded robe. Her legs, though, seem to be exposed, as well as her hands. They seem to each be visible. And you see that she's been augmented. Both her legs are now cybernetic. Both her hands are as well. Her head rises up, and it's the face of someone young, someone beautiful. But there's something behind those eyes that seem like they are dead. She grins as echoes of chanting fill the room again. She gives a little tap dance and a curtsy. She almost does it in tune with the chants themselves. It gives it an eerie feeling to the room and to the atmosphere. You almost feel like you want to dance as well. But as you watch her, you notice her dancing is slowly lulling you into some kind of mesmerized charms. And then she speaks. Hello, my name is Jaina Durbanger, the last of my name. It's so nice to meet you all, especially you, Rev. She smiles and then disappears. Don't worry, Rev. Otis is with me now.
Whoa.
She has
You know,
disappeared from your view, and you merely, guys, are just standing there in a dimly lit room with shadows ever moving around you. What do you guys like to do?
Rev, this a friend of yours?
Two seem to know each other.
Rev says, "That's Otis's little sister."
I kind of recognize the name. That doesn't seem like anyone's little sister right now.
I think whoever is in charge of converting people here is using her as a, I don't know, a guinea pig or a model, because she does not seem like she's in control of herself.
She definitely seems off. Something.
Don't let her talk to her about her like that. Stand up for my sister. Come on. She's a good girl.
Is that how she normally acts?
Rev's just like, when was the last time you saw her, Otis?
It's been a while. But she's still my sister. I can still sense good in her.
Rev says to Otis, "What can we do to bring her back? Is there a memory? Is there a name? Is there something that we can use to get through to her?"
She's tough. So just kick her ass. And she'll snap out of it. I know it.
Okay,
She's
so
a
we gotta go fight
dirtbanger.
her. So we gotta go fight her.
Why does this guy keep talking?
Said kick her ass.
Can't even hear me. I'm only
Sure,
in your
sure.
head.
I'm just hallucinating right now to myself. Pay no attention.
A couple good punches. I mean, you could shoot her. Dang it. Listen, sorry about Marvin. but you owe me a gun.
Otis, you're just in my head. And
Yeah,
I owe you some grenades too, I'm pretty sure.
yeah. I think you do. But let's call it even. You saved my sister. She
All right.
deserves better.
I have one question for you, Otis. Did you and your sister have a favorite game you played when you were little?
Ah. Hide and seek.
All right, Otis.
She was
We'll
always
go
the
f-
one who was hiding.
We'll go save your sister. Give us some luck.
As you
Rev,
say
do we
that,
hear?
you notice
do
that
we
the
hear-
little dice that you wear around your neck
Uh-huh.
kind of jingles on its own.
We don't hear Otis, right? It's just Rev.
Yeah.
Only Rev. Here's
I'm tripping on Rev right now because
Yeah,
I'm
Rev
like,
is having this one-sided conversation to like nothing, but he is speaking out loud.
Yeah.
Rev, who are you talking to over there, man? I mean, do you really think we
What
can
you doing,
save this
buddy?
little girl? I know you
Although-
guys were friends, but Otis is gone. And his little sister appears to be gone.
Rev turns to the doc and he just says, nobody's ever truly gone. They can
I
give us
Seems
respect
like
power.
Marvin. Seems like Marvin's pretty gone.
Rev just smacks Boldo, like just
As-
backhands him.
As you kind of like go ahead and see if you can roll a
I was gonna say I'm gonna dodge this. bad
roll
boy.
dexterity if you can.
Am I rolling anything?
Yeah, roll a d20, roll a dexterity that he can like.
Okay. I got a 14.
Okay,
Can I roll this with like athletics to try to hit him?
sure. You're
Can I
Perfect.
roll
you're,
with that?
you're
Then I gotta-
purposely trying to hit him at this point.
I am. So that's a 15 then.
Can I roll? Can I roll with athletics too? Because I'm dodging. I mean, it's, you know.
Okay, if I let you roll athletics, go ahead.
Okay. Boom. No. Boom. That fails him then. 4, 5, 6, 17 for me.
Oh no, you roll again, dude. You don't
Okay,
keep the
fine,
same
okay,
roll,
fine.
dude.
Okay. Fine. Let's see. 9, 10, 11, 12.
He hits you enough that it's kind of like a little, just
Yeah.
enough. Like you get enough out of the way, but he made some contact.
Yeah. He
Maybe
gets
a
some
wet
skin.
willy.
You know, it was a little baby slap.
Yeah.
As you do that, though, and you kind of snap your head back and you take a little bit of it, you feel a pressure behind your back, Boldo. And immediately emerging from the shadows, now holding and straining you, with a long 6-inch blade up against your neck, is Jaina. And she only merely says, Marvin may be dead, but you're next. And with that, that's where we will end our
Yeah.
session here tonight.
Yeah.
Wow, what a little savage.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
Annabelle or something. Jeez.
Sorry, Otis. Your sister's gonna die.
Yeah, I don't see how we could save her and not kill her.
Yep.
I guess you guys have to find out next week and see what happens.
Cliffhanger. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. We want to thank everyone who hung out with us this evening. Thank you so much, Pie Boy, for rolling for Marvin.
Thank you, Pie Boy.
You are the man. Maybe if another Marvin comes along, maybe his
Hope
brother,
another Marvin comes
Harbin.
along. Harbin. Farbin.
Yeah, his sister Farbin. Unfortunately, we did lose Marvin this evening due to a poor roll done by me. But
That's how
I
that
wish-
happened.
I wish
Okay.
I could have rolled for Marvin for once.
Right?
yeah, but
That was a pretty quick death, just like boom, 10 seconds. Like, oh, he died.
Rev-
Okay.
Brian stopped rolling for Marvin about the
For
beginning
one
of this,
episode.
the
and he
one
died.
episode, and he's
One
died. Dude.
episode and he's dead.
Marvin thought he was doing big things.
Seriously
Blew up,
though.
Yeah, we
blew
did.
up in his face.
We did lose Marvin this evening, though. But we will definitely see what happens in the next episode when Rev does his best to try to save Jaina a favor from Otis Dirtbanger, who is now turned into a force ghost in Rev's head.
Yeah, pretty much. Nobody
would've-
ever really dies.
No
Nobody
one ever really
dies.
dies. Exactly. It was
The
perfect.
Emperor Palpatine's coming back, so everybody.
There
else
you
can,
go.
I guess.
If you ever have visions of him, I wonder if it's going to be like a floating head or something. A head on a stick.
We want to thank everyone who hung up with us this evening. We do truly appreciate it. You guys have been amazing. This was episode number 33. Next week, we will have episode 34. We should hopefully be able to start on time. Sorry, we were a little bit late this evening. We do
Sorry.
appreciate it and do thankful for everyone who did hang out with us this evening and watch. If you do want to check out any of the other episodes, just click on the YouTube link. I do post them about every Saturday, so a new one will go up next Saturday, and we will be back next Friday for another episode number 34. Again, we're coming down to our season's end here. We only have about 3 or 4 more episodes at the most, so please just come out and just watch and find out what happens at the end of season 3 for these gentlemen as they continue to go through the halls of Warband. They have learned a lot. They have rid themselves of some things. They
Hallucinated
have
a lot.
They've hallucinated a lot. They've talked to each other inside each other's heads. It's been an amazing story so far. You guys have been great. I didn't expect you guys to go to Warband first, but it makes it even more awesome and epic that you have.
Alright.
I want to thank everyone who was with us tonight. I want to thank Shane, my brother from another mother. Thank you so much, good sir.
Thank you.
I want to thank my good friend Mike, aka the Recluse, Baldo the Magnificent.
Hey, thank you, man. It's been so much fun.
Absolutely.
Always a
And
pleasure.
of course, my good friend Ryan, aka Rev, aka Ran118. Tell these guys where they can find you, good sir.
As always, twitch.tv, Rand118, YouTube, all that good stuff. Thank you again for an amazing. You should write a book, Shogi.
I did.
This is your book.
Essentially, I
You're just
did.
reading your book.
Essentially, I did. A good
Spoiler
thank you.
alert. I am going to build a fishing pole and try and catch Marvin in the
There we
next
go.
week. I'm
Resurrect
trying to
him.
think of what bait I'm going to use. So I'm going to send them on.
Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Run back.
There we go.
Well, everyone, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Again, this is Horizons Unknown After Earth RPG, a game that has been written and created by myself. My name is Scott, aka Shogi, and this is Here on the Wastes. And until next time, keep it safe on the waste, everyone. Good night.
Peace out.